Joining me right now for more on this, Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger. He sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. He's also a member of the Air National Guard. Congressman, thank you for being here.
You bet. Thanks.
Are you at a place right now where you are confident in saying that it is Iran behind these attacks?
Yeah, I mean, look, the reporter prior, about 3/5 of that discussion was basically what Iranian propaganda is. And we need to look at what Iran's history is. So in Iraq, a quarter of American troops were killed as a direct or indirect result of Iran. We can go over 30 years of history and point every time Iran has lashed out at the United States or any of our allies. I have no doubt this is Iran in the Straits of Hormuz. They're the only ones with the capability to do it. We have video evidence. We probably have much other evidence that we're not releasing at this point.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
And to think anything else is...
I was just going to say, is it because of the video that we've seen publicly, or is it something more that gets you to a place of this is Iran?
No, I don't have the answer in terms of if there's anything else. This is what I can see what's on open source right now. I don't have any other information. What I do know, though, is that there is a history of this, that they're the only ones with the capability of doing this. And even if it wasn't directly IRGC, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps soldiers, it would be a militia that they energize. We see that everywhere too. This isn't, the idea, and I've seen this on the conspiracy theories already, that the United States instigated this. Is you have a typical kind of conspiracy theory crowd, but this is pretty cut and dry. We know who did it.
On how to respond, I saw that you said yesterday that if push comes to shove, and you said the U.S. Navy would push, shove, stomp, and destroy them in a heartbeat. What is that? Where is that line, though? Is that this?
It's something that we're going to have to determine basically moment by moment. I don't know if they've reached that line yet, because obviously military force is a really big decision. But I think the thing to keep in mind is military force doesn't mean 200,000 troops occupying Tehran. What it means is there's options to take out surface-to-air missile capability. There's options to take out Navy capability, which obviously is one of the bigger threats we're looking at here.
Right.
IRGC headquarters. There's ways to inflict punishment and reduce capabilities. That's definitely on the table. As of now, I think the sanctions are working. We've seen them withdraw investment in other areas of the region, and they're lashing out, no doubt.
Well, and you say they're lashing out, and I do want to ask you about this. My colleague Michelle Kaczynski, she's been reporting that a senior diplomatic source of a U.S. ally, she says that while they're not defending these attacks at all, they're arguing that U.S. action has created the crisis that we're seeing right now in the Gulf of Oman. The way this source is telling Michelle is that starting with the withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal, sanctions that we're discussing right here, to also sending the carrier strike group to the Gulf. Do you see that element of it? I mean, could the Trump administration help calm things down there at this point?
Look, I would agree if Iran was nothing but a loving regime that was sending out aid and help to its neighbors and wishing everybody good wishes in the evening. Instead, they've been a very corrupt regime. They've been expanding terrorism all throughout that region. Just look at Syria. It's 500,000 dead Syrians, and Iran largely responsible for that. You look at their decision to actually jumpstart again this nuclear program, and the fact that they were keeping ballistic missiles even under this deal, which is already halfway to expiration. So this is the United States responding, saying we're going to defend the region, and then for them to take out civilian tankers, that's nobody's fault but the mullahs in Iran and the IRGC, period.
On another topic, I haven't seen anything from you on the president's interview with ABC News that if offered dirt on an opponent from Russia or China, he would take it. What do you make of that?
Look, nobody should ever take any foreign intelligence or any information from any foreign government. If that's not the law, and I think it is, if that's not the law, we need to make that expressly clear. I wish the president wouldn't have said what he did. I wish the president would come out very clearly and say now, of course, I wouldn't. That said, look, of course we're not going to do that. And this idea that all Congress does it, absolutely not. That's totally untrue. I've never been approached by anybody in a foreign government with information on my opponent.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's why the pushback from the White House has been like, of course the president's not going to take it, and you guys are taking this all out of context. I have a hard time seeing that, and that's what I'm hearing from you right now, because he says everyone in Congress is being offered this up. We've gone through this before, Congressman. That's not true.
Yeah, and look, my thing in a lot of this is I always say, okay, we can always look back and play the blame game and say this person's 80%, this one's 20%, I think right now, every moment is the opportunity where we pause and we say, okay, let's make a very clear, definitive statement. No foreign government, no foreign adversary, no foreign individual will have any influence in the United States election.
Can I ask real quick on that? Because one thing that Congress can do is to reinforce the fact that that would be illegal, right? And we saw Mark Warner try to put forth a bill to make it crystal clear. That was blocked on the Senate floor yesterday, blocked by Mitch McConnell. When Mitch McConnell was asked last night about all of this, he says he gets picked at every day about every different aspect of this. But the fundamental point is that Democrats, are trying to keep the 2016 election alive. Do you agree with McConnell on this, that that's what this is?
I don't know. I mean, look, I think some of this, I don't know Mark Warner's bill at all. If it basically says it's reinforced that foreign government should have no influence, I'd support that. But, well, like, for instance, in this last election bill that came out of the House, H.R. 1, there was so much left-wing dream in there, including public financing of campaigns. And then they tried to claim that we voted against it because of some Russia stuff, which had nothing to do with that. There's a lot of politics being played right here. But bottom line is protect our election integrity.
You would support a bill coming from the House or the Senate, and you would want to see it going forward, being put forward and allowed to have a vote on it if it reinforced current law, which is you get an offer from a foreign entity for help in an election. It's your job to report it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. In fact, I've led many sanctions efforts against Russia, for instance, for interfering in the election, and in Eastern Europe, we look at that election security issues, and so yeah, of course, 100%.
I am looking forward to seeing that action, bipartisan action on that, coming from both the House and the Senate. We'll follow up. Congressman, thank you.
You bet. Take care.